Good morning, Year 7. Today we are moving on to area, and we want to first of all focus on the area of rectangles. But like always, before we start new work, let's revise some old work. Question 1 says, the diameter of a circle is 20 centimetres. What is the radius? Now the diameter is the whole way across the circle, so if I divide 20 by 2, that would be halfway, which is the radius, so 10 centimetres for the radius. Question 2, calculate the circumference of a circle that has a radius of 3 centimetres. Because I'm given the radius, I need to use the c equals 2 pi r formula. Second line, I'm going to sub in that the radius is 3, so 2 pi times 3. Then we type that into the calculator, and that equals 18.8 centimetres. Question 3, what is the circumference of a pizza which measures 14 centimetres from one side to the other? Now we would have to assume that when it says one side to the other, that measurement would be the diameter. So we're going to use the c equals pi d formula, and then sub in that the diameter is 14. Pi times 14 is 43.98, or if we're doing one decimal place, that would have to be 44.0. Question 4, this is the slightly harder perimeter questions because we have a portion of a circle. It is a sector though, so the formula for a sector is P equals theta over 360 times by 2 pi r, and we plus the 2r for the straight sides. Now the question is, what is the angle? If it's 90 degrees here on the outside of the circle, the angle inside here would be 360 minus 90, which is 270 degrees. So it'll be 270 over 360 times 2 pi times the radius, which is 5, plus 2 times 5. Putting that in the calculator, get 33.6 centimetres. Okay, so now we're ready for our new work, area of rectangles. When we're doing area, we will now have millimetres squared, centimetres squared, metres squared, and kilometres squared. They're no longer just lengths, they are square units. We may also need to convert things into hectares. 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 metres squared. The formula for the area of a rectangle is A equals BH. B stands for base and H for height. And the area of a square is A is equal to L squared, the length of the side of the square. That means squared. Okay, so when you first start doing area, you do questions like this, where it says count the number of squares to find the area of the shape drawn on this grid. So starting with the whole pieces, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this partial piece, this little triangle, could come and slot over here into this place, making that a whole square, and that would be square number 6, which means that the area of this shape would be 6 centimetres squared. However, we don't tend to count area like that anymore. We want to be able to use formulas to help us find things, so we are more interested in questions like this. So question 2 says, find the area of the shape below, show full working out. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, what shape is it? Now we're only talking about 2 shapes. We have a rectangle and a square that we're learning about today. So the first shape, the top one, is a rectangle. The formula for the area of a rectangle is A equals BH. The B and the H stand for the base and the height. So the base and the height will be the 9 and the 4. So we're going to sub those into our formula. 9 times 4, and 9 times 4 equals 36, and this will be measured in centimetres squared because it is area. Part B, because of the markings on this shape, this is a square. The formula for a square is A equals L squared. L is the side length, which is 60. So 60 squared is what we're subbing in. Now the squared button on your calculator is the X with a little 2 above it that you can see me swiveling over here. So if you go 60 and then press that button, that's 60 squared, which gives you an answer of 3,600 millimetres squared. Alternatively, if you don't use the squared button, remember that squared means that it's times by itself. So it is 60 times 60, which will give you the same answer. Question 3. Find the side length of a square that has an area of 64 centimetres squared. So the area formula is A equals L squared. But the measurement that I'm given here, this is the A. That's the area, A. So when I put that into my formula, I have 64 equals L squared. And I want to find out what the L is equal to. Now you could do this by guessing. So you could say, what number times is by itself to give 64? And you might think of 6 times 6 is 36. That's not big enough. 7 times 7 is 49. No, 8 times 8 is 64. So the answer is going to be 8. However, if you don't like the guessing method, the opposite of squaring something is to square root it. So to find the L on your calculator, you can type in the square root of 64 and it will give you the 8. So the length is equal to 8 centimetres. Question 4. Convert 65,000 metres squared into hectares. Now there are 10,000 metres squared in a hectare, so I need to divide this by 10,000, which means we're going to go 4 places backwards, and the answer would be 6.5 hectares. Question 5. A piece of land is in the shape of a rectangle, good to have a diagram sometimes, which is 200 metres long and 300 metres wide. Find its area in hectares. Well, first of all, let's just find its area and then we'll worry about the hectares part. So to find the area of a rectangle, the area is A equals BH. That's our formula. Second step, we substitute in the base and the height, which is 300 times 200. It doesn't matter which one goes first when you're doing that. Then you type that in, 300 times 200, and you get your answer of 60,000, and that would be metres squared. Okay, so that's a normal area calculation. But to change it into hectares, you need to divide by 10,000, and 60,000 divided by 10,000 is 6 hectares. Question 6. If the length of a rectangle, and let's draw this again, if the length of the rectangle is 4.8 centimetres and the area inside is 28.8 centimetres squared, find the height of the rectangle. So I'm trying to find the h. In the formula for area, we have A equals BH. And this is a working backwards question. I know that the area is 28.8. I know that the base is 4.8, and that's times with the h or next to the h. So this is an equation that I want to solve. If I need to get the h over here by itself, I'm going to need to divide by 4.8 to both sides, because you've got to keep it balanced, so that the 4.8 disappears and the h is by itself. Then in your calculator, you'll type in the 28.8 divided by or over 4.8, and you'll get an answer of 6, which is the height of that rectangle. It will be 6 centimetres. And you could double check it if you wanted to. If I was going backwards and finding the area, 4.8 times 6 does give me the 28.8 centimetre squared area. All right, so can you please try exercise 6, page 21 through to 24.